Good morning, guys. We're over here at McDonald's and we're about to order some breakfast and we're going to record a MUKBANG story time about our crazy neighbors. So let's order our food and we'll be back.
Alright, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese meal with sweet tea to drink.
A sausage McGriddle meal with Dr. Pepper to drink.
Anything else?
Yeah, let me get a sausage McGriddle meal with Dr. Pepper to drink, and that'll be it.
They pulled us up. Ew, this is yours. They pulled us up. That tea's gross. They pulled us up because they're waiting on our hash browns. So that's better. While we're waiting on our food, I'm going to tell a funny story. So, the McDonald's that we're at, I used to work here. And I worked here for a good, 6 months? And I was like one of their best workers. I'm not just saying that. Honey, they could call me in any day of the week and I would come in because I needed that coin. Well, one day I was working and I'd been working a double shift. Like, I had been here for 10 plus hours. And I was waiting for the girl to come in and take my spot so I could go on. Well, one of these girls that was dating one of the managers put a headset on and was listening to me and one of my friends' conversations, even though we was kind of slow, we was just talking or whatever. And she was like, y'all need to get to work, blah, 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 you need to do this and you need to do that. And I was like, you know what, I'm not doing this. So I took my headset off, slammed it on the desk. Like, I was working second window, slammed it on the desk, and I peaced out. And I literally cussed everybody out that was in here because I was already pissed off that day because they had me working Halloween, and I had 2 kids. And people that didn't have kids was off. So, why was all of us mothers and fathers working, but the teenagers that were in high school weren't working? Like, they were all off for Halloween. And I'd already requested off for Halloween because it was my son's first Halloween. And they were like, no, you have to work. So I quit, and I text my favorite manager, and I was like, look, I just quit. I'll return my uniform tomorrow, whatever. Well, she texted me and was like, well, can you just take a 2-week leave?
1 hour later.
What would be your order?
2 biscuits and 2 hash browns.
Well, this is yours.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Me too. Anyway, I texted my manager and told her I just quit. She texted me and was like, can you just take a 2-week leave and then come back because, we really want to train you as a manager, whatever. We want you to be part of management, whatever. Like, she didn't want me to quit because I already knew how to do everything and I'd only been here 6 months. So I took a 2-week leave. The day it marked 2 weeks, I was supposed to go back. Well, I put my uniform on and I got dressed and I woke my husband up and I was like, getting ready to go to work, whatever. And I had a panic attack and I was like, you know what? I'm not going back to that place because of the way they treat me. I'm not doing it. So I called her and told her that I couldn't come back. I couldn't do it. There was just no way. So I still have my uniform in the back of my van, actually, but I just never went back. So we were going to do our mukbang in the car, but we have a park near our house. No one usually comes up the back way, so we just came the back way, and we're going to go up to this gazebo and eat and tell our stories up there. I'm going to give you guys a little backstory about where we live at. So about 2 years ago, we were looking for houses to buy, of course, and we were looking for predominantly elderly communities because we have 2 kids and we didn't want our kids to be around a bunch of craziness. The first week when we moved into our house in this community that we moved in, is predominantly elderly. Literally, we're the youngest people there. The first week that we moved there, I took my dog Fancy for a walk. Insert a picture of her here. She's fat and no one knows what she is. Everyone thinks she's a bad dog. But anyway, she's blonde and she's got hearing issues. And so when she gets out the door of the house, she just be running crazy. She'll run wherever, it don't matter. She just takes off running because she's like, freedom. I can't see where I'm going, I'm just going. What started that is when I was taking my dog for a walk, this old lady, we're gonna call her Martha because that's what I call her. Well, Martha was watering her lawn. For what reason, I don't know, because it just got done raining. Anyway, she was watering her bushes, whatever, with her hose. And me and my dog come walking past her house, and my dog's on a leash because there's a leash law in my town that I live in. And the lady sprayed my dog with a water hose, and I was like, ma'am, excuse me, she's on a leash. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know she was on a leash. Yes, you did. You could clearly see this bright green leash. You seen the leash. She was just being a B-word. Anyway, she apologized, whatever, and we went back to our house. Well, the weeks leading up after that, my dog kept getting out and running into this lady's yard. And One time the lady was like carrying a bunch of Tupperware down her driveway, and my dog could like smell her, and so she booked it over to her house and started chasing her. But the lady threw her Tupperware up into the air and took off running. She was terrified. And she says that my dog is making her a prisoner of her own home for 6 years. We lived at our house for 2 years. Like I said, she told several police officers that our dog has been making her a prisoner in her own home for 6 years. And I told the police officer that the lady sprayed my dog with a hose, and that's why she don't like her. And she's blind, she's deaf, she don't know what's going on. She just knows that this lady sprayed her with a hose and whatever. Well, after that happened, a couple months went by and nothing happened between me and Martha. Well, my dog got out again, and I was, what are you doing? I was like 7 weeks pregnant. Pause. Let me give you backstory. My daughter was sick, and she's special needs, so when she gets sick, it's really bad. So she was in the hospital with respiratory issues. And my husband was in the hospital with her, and I stayed home with my son and my brother that we have custody of. So while he was gone, my dog got out. When I got home from the hospital from seeing my daughter, my dog got out and ran to this lady's yard. And I just found out that I was pregnant with our third child. I was 7 weeks pregnant. Well, I went and chased my dog into the lady's yard and was trying to get my dog. Well, the lady was like, I'm going to spray you with my pressure washer if you don't get your dog. And I was like, ma'am, I'm trying to get my dog. Like, she's blind and she's deaf, so she doesn't know what's going on. She just feels like she's being threatened and she's being chased. But this man that was in her yard, I don't know if it was her son, her nephew, whoever it was, he decides to pull a knife out on me, talking about, if you don't get your dog out of my so-and-so's yard, you're going to be a deadbeat and your dog's going to be a dead dog. Continued to chase me out of that yard into my own yard and was walking back and forth in front of my house, like running his mouth saying stuff. So I called the law, and of course they didn't do nothing. Literally didn't do nothing. Told me that if I wanted to do anything about it, I have to file a civil suit in like court or whatever. And I was like, wow, you're not going to do anything about it if you're saying I don't have any video proof. They're saying I had to have video proof to say that it happened, and I didn't. So if I didn't have any video proof, what are y'all going to do? Give him a ticket? Nothing. He threatened to kill me and my dog, and y'all did nothing. Anyway, the next day I woke up in like a lot of pain. You're leaving that in.
No,
The next day, I woke up in like really a lot of pain. Like I was cramping really bad. My left side was hurting. I just didn't feel right. So I called my husband and was like, I don't feel right. Something's wrong with the baby. Like I just didn't know. I just felt like something was wrong. Well, I went and walked my dog, and I came back in and went to use the bathroom. And when I got done using the bathroom and I wiped, there was blood. I told my husband, and me and my son got in the car, and another family member, we're gonna call her Tammy. So Tammy and my son and myself, we got in the car and rushed to the hospital. Well, I made the mistake of going to my local hospital, I'm not gonna say it. And it was like, oh, you know, it's showing that you're only like 3 weeks pregnant, so it could be like implantation bleeding or whatever. And I was like, no, sir. Like, I was just told by my health department that I was at least 8 weeks pregnant from their blood test and their urine sample that they took. And this man was like, no, ma'am, you're like 3 weeks pregnant. So that should have been a red flag to me then, because my blood test was like, for my ECG, was way high at the health department and way low at the hospital. That should have been my first red flag. Well, I listened to him, and I was like, well, my baby's fine, whatever. I went to the hospital, went back home or whatever, and I still kept hurting, like really bad. And I was like, no, this is not implantation bleeding. I've had 2 kids. This is not normal. My flow got heavier, so I went to another hospital, and they ended up telling me I had a miscarriage. But anyway, that's not the craziest thing that happened with our neighbors. After all that happened, I had my miscarriage, whatever. I didn't talk to none of my neighbors for a really long time. Well, about a month ago, I was walking my big dog. He's a bull mastiff. I was walking my big dog, and I went around the corner, like across the street, and then around the corner. And I didn't see that there was another dog outside of this house. Okay, he came running out from under this vehicle that was in the yard and came running towards me and my dog, barking and acting aggressive. So I gripped my dog and went back the other way, and I was like, you know what, I'm fed up with my neighbor's dogs. Like, I have to have my dog on a leash or they call the law on me, so I'm gonna call the law. And I did, called the law, told them that there was an aggressive dog down the street and that it was trying to attack me and my dog. Well, this crazy lady that lived across the street from me gonna come running out, talking about, that dog's not even aggressive, that's my son's dog, it's not even aggressive, it won't hurt a fly, blah, 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 blah. I was like, excuse me, ma'am, this dog literally just tried to attack me and my dog, and you're gonna tell me that it's not aggressive? So, when the cops showed up, she took the cops down there, and of course, didn't have another dog with her, of course, just took herself and the police officer down there, and was like, see, he's so nice, he's so sweet, like petting the dog or whatever. And I was like, yeah, but you didn't have another dog with you. Like, I had my big dog with me, and he was trying to fight my dog and fight me. Well, the police didn't do nothing about that either. They was basically like, you're in the wrong. Well, the police officers leave, and I see the lady that was running her mouth walk across my other neighbor's yard. And she was throwing her hands up and talking and pointing over at my house and doing one of these here. And I was like, I know she ain't running her mouth. I know she's not. She's really not. But she was. So I went and sat on my front porch and just sit there and staring at her, you know, waiting for her to say something. My husband came out and sat beside me. We was just staring at her waiting for her to say something. She's gonna do one of these. What? And I was like, you're the one over here running your mouth. Like, what are you talking about? And she was like, I just don't understand why you called the law on my son's dog. And she continued to run her mouth, talking about, why don't y'all just move? And I was like, because we own our home. We're not renters like y'all. Like, we own our home. And she was like, well, y'all just need to move. Blah, 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 blah. Like, she just kept telling us that we needed to move. My sister was at my house, so she came out trying to be the peacekeeper, you know, trying to mellow everything out, get everybody to calm down, whatever. I was like, I'm not going to calm down because this lady is sitting here calling me a liar, saying that she stood on her back porch and watched me walk near her son's yard and that the dog didn't do nothing. I was like, excuse me, ma'am, why would you be watching me walk my dog? I never had any issues with you or your family or your son or his dog ever before, so why would you be watching me this time? She was like, I knew what she was doing. Blah, 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 blah. Like, one of them Karen type. That's what we're going to call her. We're going to call this Karen, okay? Karen kept running her mouth. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing this. And so I got really mad, and I started running my mouth back to her and telling her, like, I don't care if you like me or not. I don't care if you don't like the fact that I want my dog on a leash like I'm supposed to. I was just like, I don't care. I'm fed up. All y'all old people out here trying to push us out the neighborhood. We the new wave, honey. We will outlive all y'all on this hill, which we're selling our house not because of them, just because I don't want my kids around this type of environment. Like, it's ridiculous. I literally can't even walk my dog without one of my neighbors getting pissed off. Like, the other day I was walking my dog and he was pooping in someone's gully. And I was told by a police officer that that's legal, like my dog can poop in the gully. Well, I gotta walk by this man's yard and I'm letting him poop in the gully. And this old man pulls up on the lawnmower talking about, you see this? This is my property. You don't let your dog poop on my property. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, sir, I'm in the gully, but okay. So, now I'm trying to train my dog to poop and pee in our yard, which he's doing pretty good, but it's hard to get a big dog to poop and pee in his own territory. Like, it's hard because they're territorial. They want to go more other places as their territory. I started trying to walk my dog the other way back towards Martha's house, and you know, Martha was outside cutting her grass. I was like, she ain't gonna say nothing. You know, I'm in the gully, her neighbor's gully, not even her gully. I'm in a neighbor's gully letting my dog poop, whatever. She will pull up on her lawnmower, trying to put it out of gear, not even knowing what to do. She couldn't even get it put out of gear fast enough. She was still riding forward while she was talking to me. Talking about, so, excuse me, do you know whose property this is? I was like, well, it's not yours, ma'am. I was like, this is government property because it's 18 inches off the road. That means it's government property, period. She was like, well, you see that road, that yard down there? That's my yard. Don't let your dog poop down there. I was like, okay, yes, ma'am, whatever. She was like, don't call me ma'am. I was like, okay, lady. You don't want me to call you ma'am, I'll call you lady. She was like, you ignorant, stupid. And like, she just kept going off. And I was like, lady, I'm not scared of you and your 80-year-old self. Get on your lawnmower and cut your grass for the 7th time this week. Ain't no one worried about you. I'm just letting my dog poop. She called the law, and the law gonna bring one of them paper things. Didn't even knock on my door, just stuck it on my door. They're giving me a warning for my dog pooping in other people's yard. And I was gonna call the police department and let them know I wasn't letting my dog poop in nobody's yard. I was letting him poop in the gully like they told me to. But it don't matter because the police officers where I live at are whack. They don't care, okay? They don't. They literally just get paid to drive around all day. They don't care about nothing. But they'd be real quick to pull you over in a heartbeat. You ain't got a seatbelt on. Or you going 2 miles over the speed limit. But y'all can't do your jobs? Okay. I think that's all the story times I'm gonna do today because I'm getting pissed off. So. If you guys want to hear any more story times about my crazy neighbors or how I used to work at McDonald's or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. Like this video, share this video, you know, all that good stuff. Follow me on my other social medias, and yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.